Welcome, fellow scrappers, to 3 Nines Fine, where we take stuff like this and turn it into stuff like this. Hello, fellow scrappers. Today we are going to go ahead and tear apart some automotive starters. Let's see what's inside these things, and let's get to scrapping when it's all said and done. And let's get to tearing some starters apart. Now, for those of you who are going to sit there and go, oh, you should take those to a core buyer, understand there are no core buyers anywhere near me. I'd actually have to go about 1,000 miles to get to one. So, and these starters come off of vehicles that were destined to get crushed, and they cost me nothing. So we're going to go ahead and tear these apart. These are actually fairly simple to disassemble. About time he says that, he can't get the screws out. One thing you'll notice about these starters is there's some new ones here and some old ones. And the old ones are going to have far more copper in them than the new ones do. And the easy way to tell is, generally speaking, if there's screws like this on the outside of the case, that means there's going to be copper windings inside there. If there's not, like this one here, that's probably not going to have copper windings. It's going to be a permanent magnet. So this one's actually coming apart on us. So, let me get screws in there. Get some screws in this one. Get this end cap off. And for the record, I know you can take these things in and you can scrap them as is. They're worth about 30 cents a pound for copper, or for, yeah, copper bearing motors. I am a micro scrapper, which means I try to get every bit of value out of these that I can. And I do this as a hobby, so I have some time on my hands this weekend. So we're going to go ahead and tear these things apart. So, now if you look in here, you'll see there's copper inside this. Copper up here. Now, again, I could sell this as a copper bearing motor. We're going to go ahead and get that copper out of there. This is aluminum. There's a brass bushing in there I'm going to have to get out of there. Pretty sure that's aluminum anyway. Yeah, don't stick. So there's a brass bushing in there we got to get out. Now, this is a gear reduction starter. Usually the easy way to tell is they're not on the same plane, but whole bunch of gears in there. That's what a gear reduction starter looks like on the inside. Maybe a little bit easier to see. These are all going to be just steel, so I'm not going to worry about that. All right, now this is what I was talking about, the the magnets inside there. So this is not copper windings, those are just magnets in there. You'll see. So you need some magnets. Here's a good way to get some. Throw that stuff in my steel bucket. Alright. Couple on the back side here. That was the right size on there. Huh. That'll teach me to go change stuff. There is, however, and I don't really see a whole lot of videos of people scrapping starter motors out. This is the starter drive. That's all pretty much just scrap iron. No valuable stuff in there. Again, we got another aluminum housing, brass bushing down the bottom of it. We'll have to get that knocked out of there. Piece of scrap spring steel, plastic. Another piece of spring steel. This is just steel, plunger. Let's work on the front of this thing. I got some copper wire left on here from the cable, so I'm going to throw that in my to deal with later copper bin.
When they get back, we'll find out tonight. Following Wayne's Hockey, Rusty's Rev It Up and Rock Show, right up till midnight tonight, and every Saturday, right here on The Rock. Aberdeen Chrysler Center's perfect
spring.
Program just got better. Right now, for a limited time, get invoice pricing on the new vehicle.
It's brass. Nope, steel. Here's the brush plate. That's going to be steel on there. We do have some copper wire on that. Clip that off real quick. And we're just going to throw that whole plate in the steel. This will go in our copper wire. Thousands of dollars right off the top. And if you want, goes in the steel. Now, there should be copper inside of this, though. That's rubber. All right. So these are pressed together. Takes a little bit of work to get them opened up. You notice I didn't actually cut all the way through this thing. I just cut some slits in there. Because all we need to do is get this pried away. And I'm hoping in just a couple of spots here. To be honest with you, this is my first time tearing a starter solenoid apart, so I'm learning right along with you guys on this one. Probably should have done that before I split the case. So in here, we got a copper washer. That's a copper washer right there. But what we're really after is what's behind this plate. Come on out of there. Be a good little boy. Still bent over too far. There we go. That's what we're after. So just another steel plate. But look at that nice roll of copper in there. Sweet. I'm going to assume that's probably brass in the middle again. Yep, non-magnetic, so I'm sure that's brass. This is just steel again. Throw that in the scrap steel. You got copper lugs on here. Yeah, we'll deal with this in a little while. So, essentially, that's what you are going to find inside of a starter. So, you got your copper in your starter solenoid. We've got copper in your armature. And we got the copper lugs from the solenoid itself. Got a couple of real nice pieces of aluminum here. Like I said, brass bushings in those, so we'll have to get those out. We got some steel, and then we got some garbage. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tear the rest of these apart. When I get to the ones with the copper field windings in them over here, we will come back to the camera on that. There's no sense in you watching me tear all these apart, so give us a few minutes and we'll be right back. Alright, we are back. So I just kind of wanted to give you an overview of what we found here. I have things to do tonight, so I can't hang around here too long. But one of the things I wanted to show you, this is one of the starter that has the copper windings in it. Now, you need to take these screws out, and it's probably good luck with that. I'll probably end up drilling them out. There is some really nice copper in these. Okay, so one thing you want to watch out for, that's this one here. I tried to tear it apart just for demonstration purposes, but if you look real closely there, you will see that is not copper, boys and girls. That is aluminum. So I will cut the copper leads off of that, and that will go into the scrap shred pile, because I am not going to mess around with it. But so that's those two there. The other three starters that we had were permanent magnet ones, so we did not get anything out of the fields on those. housings. We got this one here. This is off the Chrysler starter, gear reduction starter. I got some bushings I got to drive out of there, but there's aluminum. Another one, got a bearing we got to drive out of there, but that's cast aluminum. This one's actually clean. Here's another one. We're going to take the bushing out of that one. Gives me 4. And last but not least, this one's actually clean here. This one will go right straight into the aluminum bucket. So those are the 5. Sorry. This one here also, there is a brass bushing way down in there we got to get out. So that's all aluminum end caps there. These are the front caps. This one's aluminum again. Got a bearing in there I got to get out of there. These are tin, but I will take the brass bearing, or the brass bearings out of these. Just use a punch and a hammer for that. This is another aluminum one. Again, brass bearing in the front. So that's the last one here. Got a brass fitting in the front. I got to get out of that. Those 3 are steel. And then, like I said, the nice thing on these is the solenoids. Starter solenoids themselves. They got that one there. Nice copper windings on these. That's all copper under that tape. This is out of that Chevy starter. Okay. And then these lugs are copper up here. These will have to come out yet as well. Another one. And then our armatures. We're going to take care of these in a different video. I'll show you how to deal with these armatures. But there is a boatload of copper in these bad boys. So if you can get these apart, obviously not that one because he's tiny, but if you can get these armatures apart, especially these nice big ones here, there is nice copper in these. Really nice copper in these. So, like I said, we're going to save that for another day. There's the last one, pretty decent sized one here too. And these ends, these are copper. Here's the last starter solenoid one. There is copper inside of that, but you got to figure out how to get that one apart yet. And then we've got the miscellaneous studs that come out of those solenoids. That's all copper. That's nice right there. Got some good weight to it. Wires that come off the brushes, got a small handful of that. And this will all get melted down. I purify my copper. I don't just melt it down and sell it as copper bars. Some of those nuts on these things are brass. Kind of watch for those. That one's not. That one's steel. But if you look, that one there, she's brass. And then this housing, I'm going to guess that's brass on there. I haven't checked it yet, but we're going to take a look into that as well. And then, of course, the discs out of those solenoids. I got 3 of those. So they're either going to be copper or brass. They appear to be copper, though they aren't shiny enough to be brass unless they're red brass. So anyway, that's what you will find inside a starter. A whole pile of stuff out of the 5. If we flip this around here, my steel bucket, that's what we got in the steel bucket. So that's what's in the steel bucket. And like I said, I processed my copper. I show you that setup real quick. But yeah, I melt that into bars, and then I put the bars in there, and we use copper sulfate to turn that into pure copper on the other end. So, but that's one we'll cover another day. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and hopefully we can get you some more stuff out later on. Thanks for watching.